Really interesting. All right, first question. Will Trump go after the cartels in Mexico? Well, we hope so. That's a good thing to go after. There's Trump, King of Swords, air sign male because he's a Gemini. His opposition is doing fine. Six of Swords. People that are having issues with him will just get on with their life. Six of Swords is smooth waters. If you read Wands as swords, cautionary tale. Do you read Wands as swords? No. Swords are made of ice. They're supposed to be represent ice, the winter. And so people will often read swords as years. So it's many years. Smooth waters, many years lay ahead. So they're leaving the rocky waters and they're heading towards the smooth waters. So the opposition of Trump is doing fine. So if you're asking me, is Mexico okay? They're fine. Is the Mexican president okay? They're fine. They don't seem to be bothered and probably not. And there's no premonition here of future problems for the rest of the world because of Donald Trump, because his cabinet is not going to let him do this stuff. Hopes and fears, hanging up. So loss of contracts. What happens is that people will not be able to afford to buy certain things because of the tariffs. And so the concern is that people will hang up or stop purchasing certain things. Seven of Wands. Trump is left defending his positions and his opposition is fine. Six of Swords. They're fine. He isn't. I was right. You were wrong. Right? Seven. I shouldn't make them. But Seven of Wands is when I have to defend myself. The clarification for him. First house, he's watching the money. So he's watching the international market to see what it's done. A great celebration occurs with his enemies. So they're celebrating and he's watching his money very closely, specifically the green economy. Oh, I didn't think you could make money off this stuff. He's too focused on oil. He needs to diversify his portfolio. If I was the person that was giving him advice, particularly with the Seven of Pentacles standing in the seventh house, because that's harvesting, planting, reaping what you plant. And I read that literally as a green economy. The better you take care of the earth, the more it will produce. So I read Seven of Swords literally as a green economy card. The fact that his opposition is like, woo, party, party, Three of Cups and Six of Swords doesn't mean necessarily that Trump is not the president. It's just that who cares when you have solid infrastructure on a local level? The answer is save what we can save, vote with your wallet. And the truth of the matter is these cards almost look like we just get on with our lives and ignore him and we build a beautiful world despite him. Hopes and fears, the thief that got away with it. Interesting. He's rendered powerless by a disinterest by those around him to participate. Ten of Wands, he packs up and moves. I'm telling you, this guy is not going to be in the White House long. He has a heavy load is upon him. He defends himself. He's trying to convince people this burden. Meanwhile, we don't need you. The money is behind us. Everybody's moving to the new green economy. What are you doing? People are building pantries. You're not hip anymore. Hip is Little House on the Prairie, man. We want to get back to the garden. And that is exactly what people are doing. It's like, this is not for us. So that means that with this Seven of Pentacles energy moving in, we have to ask ourselves, is Wall Street ready for it? Because once you've become self-sufficient, like I've become really self-sufficient, I can live on a very meager monthly income now because I know how to cook from scratch and because I literally have everything in my home. I have cooking sherry. I have, so when you grocery shop, you only have to spend, $50 a week or whatever for like your animal protein, your vegetables, because you've got so many different things in your pantry. And so other than your vegetables and everything is scratch. You even make your own I make my own crackers. I had some crackers like these crackers are so addictive, by the way. I made I have ADD, as you can tell. I'm because it's $5 for a little thing of crackers. Why don't you just make your own crackers for 50 cents? And they taste better because they're fresh. They don't taste stale. You start to realize that packaged crackers taste stale. I made my own, 50 cents, baby. No preservatives. These are so freaking addictive. They smell so good. These are garlic, sesame seed, corn, and einkorn. That's the recipe. And I just toasted it as a block and then broke it up. And then the ones I had before it were just sesame and einkorn. I'm almost done with them. Point is that the more self-sufficient, the more you learn to just make from scratch, the more you live simply, the happier you will become, and the less you can ignore politicians that annoy you. Delicious. Learn to cook a good cracker. You won't regret it. Okay. Next question. Let's keep rolling, people. Oh, we got a nice donation, American Forest. Hot dog. I'm thrilled. $505. Come on, you guys. This is important. We gotta grow more. It's important. We got a lot. You know how many trees? How many trees did we lose? How many trees were lost? Does anybody know? We could ask Hippocrates. Hippocrates, how many trees were lost in the recent Los Angeles fires? It's important. We've got to, yeah. Let's see. I wonder if, so every dollar is what? One tree, right? So we just got we contributed 5 trees so far today. Or did we get more? Did we get more of it?
I'm not sure about the most recent numbers, but I can tell you that historically La loses a lot of trees every year due to factors like drought, disease, and urban development. Could you provide more context or clarify which event you're referring to?
The recent LA fires where it was a national disaster. Wasn't it considered a national? I don't know. So the point is this, people. We gotta grow as many trees as we can. All right, next question. Let's keep going. Thank you for the donation, much appreciated. Welcome, Kathy, Elders and Empaths. We did that. All right, moving on. Oh, the readings was helpful. Did everybody benefit from that reading? So it looks like, yes, it was quite bad according to Hippocrates. This is Hippocrates. Say hi to Hippocrates. He's the local scientist.
Unfortunately, I don't have the most up-to-date information on tree loss from the most recent wildfires. However, previous wildfires in the region have resulted in the destruction of millions of trees. For example, the Woolsey fire in 2018 destroyed an estimated 90% of the trees in Malibu Creek State Park, and the Thomas fire in 2017 burned down 80% of the trees in Ventura County.
All right. So thank you, everyone who is helping to bring trees back. Yes, Barbara Brennan was the book. We have another member too. I just want to say thank you, Anna, to Fairies and Angels. Are you a fairy or an angel? Would we like to know? Mm-hmm. I'm more fairy. I'm more fairy than angel. I just, cooking sherry, yeah, usually, or it's the vinegars like the balsamic vinegars. But when it goes off, people would use it for cooking, like the serfs used it in cooking for making like making an onion soup with bones. These are to be able to make food from nothing, I think is really wonderful. Or I just think it's great. And it's so good for you too. Bone broth is so good for you. And onions, they're loaded with quercetin. Yeah. Well, Trump talked to Obama for advice on green economy. That was the conversation that we were pretty sure was taking place, where they had talked and Obama had said to him, well, we don't really have a lot of time. We should probably meet right away to talk about it. And then what did Trump say to him about pulling out? He said of the accords. He said something like, "It's a stupid idea. I'd be crazy to agree. Like it's a bad business deal." He was trying to explain to Obama why he felt it was a bad business deal. Let's see about the future relationship with Obama and Trump. Well, unfortunately, he wasn't convinced because he did pull out of the Abraham Accords. So, at least Obama is keeping the communication open, which is what you would want. But because the report coming in, because Seven of Pentacles is in his seventh house, I'm telling you, and with Silicon Valley coming in, and a lot of their money and contracts is with the EPA, and there's so much new green technology coming out of Silicon Valley. I can't imagine that they would be okay with him cutting green spending. The clearing the roads of CO2, those things they're going to put up on highways to clear the CO2, that's a technology that they're probably going to buy. And solar and wind, a lot of that's coming out of California tech world. I think it would be nearly impossible for him to shut it down. They won't let him because they've invested in him. What they want is an end of regulation, which is inhibiting building. So they tore it all down and then they start again. And that's good and bad. The good part is that a lot of new green stuff is going to get built because they've cleared away a lot of restriction. The bad is that troublemakers are going to come in and then we're going to have to start with restrictions again. So it's both good and bad to tear away some of the restrictions. Even liberals say it got to be ridiculous. Like, Bill Maher is a libertarian Democrat and a huge environmentalist and a vegan. But, he was trying to put his solar roof up and he said it took him like 3 years. It's like, this is ridiculous. So that's the kind of regulation that environmentalists would like to see. We've got to streamline the regulations. I think that's the complaint. Confusion. This is a relationship. When you put these two people together, you come up with the moon card. So Biden and Trump, there's just confusion. These two people are very different people. They handle the world differently. They handle politics differently. They view the world differently. They deal with conflict differently. Opposition, King of Swords. Obama doesn't like conflict. He doesn't have conflict with people. He doesn't usually wind up in court. He doesn't usually wind up sued. He doesn't usually evoke these types of strong emotions that Trump does. He's more, let's continue to monitor the situation. He's more, so the confusion, I feel like the main issue you get with Trump is like Queen of Swords is justice. It's the courts possibly coming in. Strong disagreement about the budget and how money is spent. If it would be interesting to see how Obama feels about the Iran deal now that so many people feel like it was a disaster, right? Does he consider it the worst thing of his presidency? Well, he thinks Libya, the bombing of Libya, if you ask him personally, he'd say that was the biggest mistake of my career. But I would say that the Iran deal was probably equally just as horrible. So you have this confusion where the two of them are just confused and disagreeing on issues, whether it's the climate agreement or the Iran deal. And it is like they space each other out. Like, what the hell did he just say? What the hell did he just say? What the hell? I just feel a deep confusion. Like these two have a real hard time communicating. So there's a lot. I think that Obama tries to be cordial to him, but it's not a. It's a very. I feel discombobulated. The green economy wins because that's the nature of technology. The empress always wins. That's why we will probably disarm nuclear weapons in the next 10 years, because it's expensive. They're expensive to maintain, and because war isn't fought like that anymore. And the attention now is on Star Wars and on defense. So it's the same with fossil fuels. We can scream and rant and rave about this law or that law, but the bottom line is that if I was an oil person, I'd be diversifying my portfolio and moving into the new green economy and trying to get those government contracts, because the partnership and the outcome is the empress. So even though there's confusion happening, in answer to your question, Joel, about the future of the new green economy, the outcome is the empress. So she wins. So he's a bad president, but it's not the end of America. It's not the end of the world. He's just a bad president. And there are a lot of stopgaps. There are a lot of people controlling him. And we have, it could be the worst of times, but it could also be the best of times, depending upon what we do on a local level and what we do as consumers. Yeah. All right, I think I'll do one more question, and then my cracker recipe. Yeah, I just went with a general cracker recipe. So I went with I like sesame crackers, or what are called bagelettes. And I use einkorn wheat, but these ones here are the ones that I made. And I just I just broke it up. But these are addictive, and I can't stop eating them. And they taste. What happened was they wound up tasting so much better. They're like, these are. Well, they're hot out of the oven and they're crunchy with the toasted sesame. And I made my own hummus from scratch. Also, I bought dried chickpeas. I'm trying to be like from before the Industrial Revolution. That's my goal, to try and get food as minimally processed as possible. I just really believe in this, as a broke aristocrat. And I really want people to have the good life, to live the best damn life you can live. And it starts with not wasting, living simply, and creating heaven where you're at. Just and know that you have a moral responsibility to do this. That suffering is actually a novella. In Judaism, it's a sin. It's in Buddhism, it's actually bad. Mitzvah gadola liot v'simcha. It is a great deed to be happy. By being happy and creating heaven on earth, you have served the world. You have to do it in a way that's eco-friendly. And if you do that, you are serving your function, because you're bringing joy into the world and you're bringing a slice of heaven into the world. But this is a basic recipe if you guys want to start making your own crackers. And you can make them with einkorn wheat or a gluten-free wheat flour. It's really simple to do. It's just salt and flour and a little bit of olive oil and water and sesame seeds. And you just bake it at 375. This recipe calls for sugar. And I think instead of sugar, I put something else in because I didn't want to use sugar. Either I think I omitted. Either you can omit the sugar Or I think I just didn't use it. Yeah, I didn't even use sugar. I couldn't taste it. I knew it tasted a little different than the ones I bought. I love sesame crackers. I just love them. I love them with hummus. I eat them all the time. So it was nice to make them with einkorn wheat. And I got the einkorn wheat. I bought like 3 or 4 bags. Actually, I think I bought 5 bags on Amazon.com because I knew that I was going to use it. And then I also bought a ton of, I stored up. So I bought something like 5 pounds of gluten-free flour also. Yeah. And it's just heaven on earth, fresh out of the oven, because I'm called to do this, right? Is some nice sesame crackers with my tea or my hummus. I also made scones yesterday. I'm enjoying some very nice homemade scones. And then you have someone over and then you can share your joy with another human being. And which is what we do here when we all get together and have brunch and we share our joy with one another and our slice of heaven. And it's really that simple, I promise. All right. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your time with me. Thank you to those who have become members and to those who have donated to AmericanForest.org. And I guess I'm out of here. I'm going to go eat one of those delicious scones. And be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. If you're trying to see me as a physician or if you'd like to get a card reading, I see patients through Booksy, which is below, and I will call you at the appointed time. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.